Hi, I'm Jason Gord for ThatShelf.com, and we're here to look at Joni's Jazz.
Big shelf.
Joni Mitchell, the archive series. We could just turn this entire channel into a Joni appreciation thread, and I'd actually probably be totally happy with that. Nonetheless, this is the newest box set release celebrating her amazing, amazing career. Joni's relationship with jazz, is a little bit complicated in the best of ways. Certainly, starting out as the sort of confessional folk star. I mean, I know she really disputed that, the stuff after Blue, etc. She started working with people like Tom Scott, and then by the time you get to Mingus, I mean, she's working with monsters. Not that Tom Scott is a monster, but like the Matheny's, the Jacos, the Don Eliases, the just absolute legends, Herbie Hancock, of the jazz world. And she would surround herself with musicians. A lot of people pointed out, coincidentally, save for a couple, if not just one, mostly male musicians, such as the time and such as the aesthetic. Nonetheless, she absolutely sort of inculcated herself into a world of jazz musicians that could take what the experimentation that she was doing as essentially either a pianist or a guitarist, where she was changing tunings. On piano, she was doing these really spare, really open sounds, or then these cluster sounds. And then at other times worked explicitly within the world of jazz, stuff like Mingus, obviously, where she's actually working, reinterpreting a number of Charles Mingus's songs. So this is a celebration of those collaborations. Of people like Herbie, people like Wayne. Like her relationship with Wayne Shorter went on for so long. And Wayne Shorter is another one of those guys. Yeah, he's a jazz guy. He's a jazz horn player. It's incredible. Miles. Monster. But Wayne Shorter was also an unbelievable songwriter, incredibly sympathetic songwriter. And when he was doing his jazz compositions, there was this fantastic melodicism at play. So in a funny way, I don't know how funny it is, but in a specific way, rather than just writing stuff to be harder, writing stuff to be the sort of bed of improvisation, he was somebody that could truly, in the best of ways, write tuneful jazz without taking away any of its adventurousness, any of its sort of stunning virtuosic elements. Herbie is my man. I love Herbie. Herbie has written some monster stuff, but Shorter really is the musical compositional legend, even more so than somebody like that. Miles would write these incredible elements and have these sort of delicate lines, but Shorter, man, over so many years would actually do it. And I really think that the collision between somebody like Wayne Shorter and somebody like Joni Mitchell, these two just mega songwriters, people who could write melodic lines and still find ways of being, as I said, complex but incredibly engaging. You can't think of a better way of actually having these two minds that had a chance to collaborate. Amazing. And so that's why you have stuff like, who's on the cover there, right there. So what do we have here? The 8 LP set curated by Joni Mitchell. So she helped put it together. Sounds nice. Featuring collaborations with Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, Jaco Pastorius, Charles Mingus, and many more. Includes rare performances and newly unearthed demos, plus H-page book with previously unpublished art and commentary from Mitchell, Hancock, Shorter, and others. The back, so this is the front, with Wayne, and then the back, so Herbie and Wayne. On the back, Joni's joint is there, her sort of showing off her incredible smile, and then you have these songs put together over 16 different sides on the vinyl set. So let's crack this open and see what it looks like inside. I'll do this as carefully as I can to keep the outer shrink on, because again, that's the way I roll. But yeah, it's so exciting to actually have a chance to have this sort of all in one place. I do not believe this is going to take over from some of these sort of, larger scope anthology sets, but this is just a really nice way of all in one place having this particular mode of her career sort of commemorated. So, this is interesting. We have a card here from Joni. Wayne Shorter was my favorite collaborator. I would have liked to hear him on everything, but his contract limited the number of tracks he could play on. Wayne played more than notes. He listened to the words and played off them. Listen to Yvette in English, her heels clicking. Listen to a bird that whistles. I mixed him in with real bird songs. Hear him laugh at the end. It was a joy to play with him. He will be missed and will remain alive for me in this music. This album is dedicated to his memory. A beautiful sentiment about this legendary artist. Joni's Jazz, the booklet, the back, very simple. Inside we have, again, a bunch of illustrations. And Joni was absolutely no stranger to sort of going up to some musical legends. Fury Sings the Blues being a story of her sort of surreptitiously going up off of Beale Street to work with to at least meet the blues legend. But when you listen to the Mingus Happy Birthday on Mingus, just the fact that Herbie and Wayne and people of that ilk are drawn to her as much as she's drawn to them says everything about the caliber that we're actually talking about here. As she talks about, when I was a teenager in the 50s, I loved to dance. One summer, some of the boys in our dance crowd went to New York City and came back talking Kerouac, Coltrane, and Charlie Parker. One of them, Brian Anderson, hired me to do a mural of Jazz Trio on his bedroom wall. He paid me in jazz records. So that's a photo of that mural. That's great. When I moved to Detroit, I began to write songs. I played a club called The Chessmate, which was folk music until midnight and jazz after hours. So the collision of those two music. Those jazz musicians were Motown players. I couldn't read or write music, so I hired them to transcribe my music for copyright purposes. So that would have been members of the Funk Brothers. They liked my melodies and began to incorporate them into their sets. Because of this, again, a small black audience in the Motor City. And then she goes on about this. Then we started to sing along. So we got Herbie, we got Vince Dietrich from Spirit of the West, Wayne Shorter, all of these different elements, all in this lovely little booklet, all put together. So the tracks themselves, I'm not going to list all of them, but starting from the top, it starts with Blue, interestingly. Trouble Man, the Kyle Eastwood featuring Joni Mitchell. Some great stuff here. It's got her select discography on the back, and then the Mingus painting in here. I cannot wait to actually dive into this and see what different elements are actually in here. So in many ways, yes, it is essentially a grand greatest hits kind of. There are obviously a number of tracks that haven't been released, but many of them have been. But these sort of recontextualize these songs for us to put Blue within the context of her jazz music. Very, very interesting. Then each record sort of comes like this. So you can see the first one has this cover. Unsurprisingly, her art at the foreground. Here, disc 2, disc 3. Actually, I'm going backwards. This is side 11, side 12. So this is the back. There we go, side 9 and side 10. This is side 7 and side 8. This is side 5 and side 6. Side 3 and side 4. And then the first track, side 1. So there we are. Blue, Trouble Man, Moon of the Window, Be Cool, Harlem and Havana, Cherokee, Louise, Coming from the Cold. In France, They Kiss on Main Street and Nothing Can Be Done. So a real collision of different eras of her music all put together. Little Rhino logo on the back. We'll just crack open one of them to see what it is. Unsurprisingly, polylined vinyl, polylined paper sleeves. Thank you, Warner. Thank you, Rhino, for doing this properly. And then the records themselves, just on regular black vinyl, but nonetheless, just beautifully pressed. The Joni Mitchell signature there for all of them. There we are. Joni Jazz. Cannot wait to dive into this. They're going to go on the degrader. They're going to get put into sleeves, and then they're going to get listened to in their entirety. Joni Jazz, available in next couple days as of this recording and publishing. A celebration of all the things that she did in and around the world of jazz, the sort of jazz tangential and the jazz deep. All hail Queen Joni. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just going for that shelf. Please let us know in the comments what you think of Ms. Mitchell. It'll be fantastic to hear your recollections and your love of some of this music. Subscribe, follow us on social media, watch some of our other videos that really help us, as would visiting our website. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next video. All the best. Take care.